All things considered, the MCU has got its casting pretty much spot on. I mean, aside from Hugo Weaving and Natalie Portman, there's never really felt like there's people who just shouldn't be there. And that's quite important, you see, because good casting is the difference between Robert Downey Jr. entirely relaunching his career and holding up a 19-movie franchise as Iron Man, and Ben Affleck just looking like he's cosplaying at his own kid's birthday party as Batman. But this is Hollywood, so whenever there's a big part going, there are big names sniffing around it. And oh dear God, calamity from the skies, some unbelievable people nearly got roles in the MCU. I'm gonna file this one under you, for you won't believe some of these. My name is Adam Cleary, and these are 9 insane MCU castings that almost happened. But before we begin, why not subscribe to stay notified? Ding, ding, done. Number 9. Nicolas Cage, Iron Man. Nicolas Cage is no stranger to superhero movies, having very nearly played Superman in Tim Burton's aborted Superman Lives project and Ghost Rider in 2 admittedly quite bad films. But way back when Iron Man was in its very earliest pre-production stages, he was one of the names near the very top of the list to play Tony Stark. Would he have been fun in the role? Yes. Absolutely. Would he have kept the franchise going for 10 years? Absolutely not. I mean, what Downey Jr. has done with the sardonic Stark has been nothing short of miraculous, and a big part of the reason the MCU has gone on this long. But think of all those freak-out scenes from the straight-to-VOD thrillers Nicolas Cage would have missed out on over the last 10 years. We'd have been deprived of every one of them. Number 8. David Duchovny, Hulk. After the prospect of Eric Bana returning for a Hulk sequel somehow fell apart, the character was given a soft relaunch as part of the MCU. Now that went to Edward Norton at the time, but the man they wanted was David Duchovny. After another recasting for the first Avengers movie gave us Mark Ruffalo, nobody's really complaining because he has been an absolutely excellent Bruce Banner. But David Duchovny would have been, I don't know, I think he would have been alright. I'm struggling to see him as Hulk, really, but I can definitely see him as Bruce Banner, who's got that quiet, murderous, bookish charm to him. Number 7, Triple H, Thor. Yep, you're gonna think I'm making this one up for the benefit of a really, really good thumbnail, and I wish I was, to be completely honest with you, but no, Triple H was very, very, very nearly Thor. The filmmakers had Daniel Craig as their first choice, but after he turned down the role, they started casting their net a little wider. Rome's Kevin McKidd was in contention, as was Chris's brother Liam Hemsworth, but Triple H, yes, Triple H from The Chaperone was apparently this close. Hey, if you don't believe me, dig back through the internet to about 2008 and find all the stories that confirm Chris Hemsworth had landed the role. In those reports, in almost every single one of them, is the name Triple H. That would have been insane, if only because he's been in Blade Trinity. Number 6, Adam Sandler, Rocket Raccoon. Adam Sandler's filmography almost read Jack and Jill, Grown Ups 2, Guardians of the Galaxy. Only one of those films didn't score less than 5% on Rotten Tomatoes. I will let you guess which one. Number 5, Channing Tatum, Captain America. Just before Chris Evans nabbed the part of Captain America, one of the very final names on the very short shortlist was that of a young Channing Tatum, whose stock was massively on the rise following the release of Public Enemy's G.I. Joe and Dear John. Now, Big Channers is apparently a massive comic book fan, as evidenced by his steadfast refusal to ever let that potential Gambit movie ever die, but this would have been an absolute disaster. Right next to the casting of Iron Man, the casting of Captain America was arguably the most pivotal for the MCU. Now, he has since proved to be a great actor, I'm not disputing that, but at the time of casting he was mid to late 20s and carried nothing like the sort of gravitas that Chris Evans has brought to the role. We sadly would likely have never got out of phase 1 with someone like that. Number 4, Joaquin Phoenix, Doctor Strange. Tell me you don't want to see this. Joaquin Phoenix was offered the role of Doctor Strange on a plate, but decided to pass on it for fear of being tied down to a multi-movie contract that would restrict his acting ability, quoting apparently, "No way, nerds," when he turned it down. But he would have been absolutely incredible in the part, especially conveying both the arrogance and the mystery of the character of Stephen Strange. Plus, and I think this is alright to say, he would have been the most talented actor to come into the MCU. Yeah, I'm sticking with that. Number 3, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Thanos. Thanos creator Jim Starlin literally said after the big purple twat was teased at the end of the first Avengers movie that he wanted Schwarzenegger to play him, and that is who the studio was going to get. Would you like to see if that would have been a good idea? Roll the tape.
Show some mercy.
I'm afraid that my condition has left me cold to your pleas of mercy.
Number 2, Josh Hartnett, Loki. In early 2009, it looked like Josh Hartnett had sealed the deal to play Loki in the upcoming Thor movie, but after seeing Tom Hiddleston audition for the role of Thor himself, the filmmakers decided he was perfect to play his brother. Now, Hartnett literally turned down the starring roles in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, Batman Begins, and Superman Returns for fear of being overwhelmed by the fame that would come with those parts, so his casting as Loki would have been perfect. But as good as he would have been, and I have no doubt he would have been really, really good, he would not have been Tom Hiddleston, whose casting as Loki has genuinely been one of the standouts of the entire project. Number 1, George Clooney, Nick Fury. George Clooney had signed on to play Nick Fury right up until he saw a comic book where Fury eviscerates a man and then strangles him with his own intestines. He then decided the role wasn't for him and he just passed on the whole thing. What a f***ing pussy. Instead, Big Sam Jackson got the role and we've never looked back. But his casting did perfectly complete one of the most poetic stories in Hollywood I think I've ever heard. Not so very long ago, Marvel Comics decided to completely change the character of Nick Fury, and being big fans of Samuel L. Jackson, they asked him if they could base the character on him. Now, he loved this idea, so Nick Fury changed from this to this. And a few years later, when Marvel Films were looking for an alternative casting solution after George Clooney bailed on them, the big soppy c***, they decided that the best person to play this person was the person it was based on, and thus Samuel L. Jackson got the role of a comic book character that was based on him. I love that story. Still though, Clooney, can you imagine? So there you have it. Those are 9 absolutely unbelievably, but totally true, insane Marvel casting decisions that very, very nearly happened. Let us know what you make of it all. Would it have been better? Hell no, in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, my name has been Adam Cleary. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.